Welcome to Edge of the Rabbit Hole, where tonight we are talking all things witchy. Vanessa? I didn't hear her.
I know.
Uh-oh. That could be an issue. All right.
Do the little happy dance.
Do the happy dance. We're in there. In there like swimwear. All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so since they missed it, let me get this out because it is like in my blood, okay?
All right.
Okay. Best witches laugh ever. Should have been on music. I told y'all it's in my blood.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
In my blood. Yes.
And we also have a $10 super chat from Tom McNicholas. Says, love witchy shit. All right. Thank you, Tom.
Tom has a witchy
And from
shit.
Andrew Cox.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that. You were
You
were
okay.
connecting on Skype when we were covering
Okay.
Andrew. So, yeah, we got him. So both Tom and Andrew, thank you very much. Yeah, and we do apologize for the technical stuff to start off the show. I guess we'll figure it out next week because it looked like everything was going to work great, and then we went live, and boom.
And it went kaplooey.
It went kaplooey. So,
You know.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
Witchy shit. So,
Oh, where shall we
and
start?
Shauna's wearing the I'm into witchy shit shirt, like she pointed out earlier. There is a link below to get that shirt, so it's in the description. So,
Well, and for anyone who's new to the show, they need to know where that came from. What was it, a year ago, Shauna? We were doing a show, give or take, and me and Mike and Shauna were talking, and Shauna and I were going back and forth, and we're like, we're into witchy shit.
Yeah.
We weren't thinking anything of it. Bless Mike's heart, he is so observant. He picked right up on that. And messaged the next day and says, "Okay, here's the new shirts."
yeah.
and our, what we were talking about is right there, and you can have it right across the girls. Okay, you can have it right across the girls and strut your stuff and be into witchy shit right along with us. And you'll learn more about it tonight.
That's right. That's right.
So, Shauna, you want to take it?
I'm going to let you go first. You're like,
Oh.
yeah.
I'm your resident pagan, here for questions and answers. Actually, this really is a wonderful subject for us to talk about, whether it is, Halloween, whether it's any time of the year. It doesn't really matter. Anytime we can have a conversation that opens up the lines of communication and helps people understand what it is we're actually about, I am all for it. Okay? Certified tree hugging dirt worshiper.
There you go.
That's me. Okay? Don't believe in Satan. Not in the way that
It's all satanic.
I know, right? Not in the way that Christians and Catholics do. We don't eat your children. We are not into blood sacrifices. Just as many of us have been killed throughout history unnecessarily as any other person of faith. That's something a lot of people don't pay attention to. And all we want to do is practice in a safe, comfortable, nature-based environment.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about some of those persecutions on Inside the Upside Down tonight. And come on, Vanessa, we know you sleep with the devil.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, her name is Cha Cha, and she's over there on my soul blanket right now.
And she has probably left a mark or two on you, right?
I know, true story. Just a little background real quick. The word pagan, which you don't have to be pagan to be a witch. The word pagan, for those who don't know, actually means country dweller. And where that term came from was when the Crusades were going through and Christianity was being spread, though it was spread in a way to bring forth taxes to the church, amongst other reasons, but that was one of the main ones. Let's just call a spade a spade. Well, those country dwellers, pagans, the people that traded chickens for healing or eggs for cloth or whatever it was, they didn't have anything that the church necessarily needed. They didn't have money. Okay. They didn't have anything to fill the coffers with. So they were shunned. They were frowned upon, and they were considered beneath anybody that would have been considered town. Okay. So that term isn't derogatory. It's descriptive. It means you were somebody from the country.
Right.
You were somebody without wealth that lived a different life. That is it. Okay. I do have to go ahead and just nip something in the bud just real quick.
Sure.
Okay, y'all, just because you're a dude and you got a pee-pee, if you're a witch, you're a witch. You're not a warlock.
What about a wizard? Come on.
No.
Necromancer.
You're not a warlock. That is actually a derogatory term. Yeah, it's a derogatory term. It is not something you ever want to be called by somebody who knows what they're talking about. Okay? Just putting that out there. And for the record, it's Samhain.
Hey, you know what?
Solemn.
I know that came up last week. It came up down in the chat. And just real quick, Donna Gorton down there was saying, speak for yourself about eating children, insert cackle. We want to throw out some positive energy for Donna and her wrist injury that she just had. But yeah, so I know that came up last week in the chat because Sam Hain and Samhain were both said on the show last week. If you watch, it's a mainstream movie, Halloween 2, where they're tracking down Michael Myers, and he's got the letters in blood up on the chalkboard. Donald Pleasance says Sam Hain throughout the whole rest of the movie. So.
Oh, and I didn't say that because of Chuck, because everybody does it differently.
I'm just curious. I mean, it is spelled Sam Hain. Mm-hmm. So where does the pronunciation come from? Is it like a certain dialect, or what is it?
It's Gaelic.
It's Gaelic. Okay.
It's Gaelic, and it is. It's pronounced Samhain, spelled either Sowin, with the difference between the two, or Sawin, Samhain or Samhain. So there's just a slight difference to the A or the O. It just depends on where you're at, with your Gaelic and how it comes out, and if you have a Southern accent. Okay, but
Southern Gaelic.
I know, right? But it predates Christianity. It is actually October 31st to November 1st. It's a 2-day celebration. It is is it our second or our third? I always get it mixed up. It's our third harvest, isn't it, Shana? Our third harvest. And it's basically the new year. It's when
I thought it was something to do with the dying sun.
It is because then it gets reborn again, and the days start to get longer after Christmas, after Yule. Not after Yule, but after the third week of December. But it's to honor your lost loved ones, your past loved ones, your ancestors. It's your last harvest, your final harvest, to honor the death and bring in new life. That's what it's for, and it doesn't have to be some big old huge deal. It's whatever is personal to you. Who do you want to honor? Do you have your great grandma's picture up on the mantle? Are you going to put a little flower there, or a stone that she would have appreciated? Anything that's personal to you, that is honoring those that came before you, that's ritual. Doesn't have to be this big circus craziness. Do I have a hooded robe? Yes, I do. Do I wear it around the house and dance like Madonna sometimes? Yes, I do. I have to have it? I do.
Do you dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Every now and then I'll do that. Okay, but it's more just because I'm feeling the groove. It's not really ritual.
Okay.
But it's a personal thing. Jump on in here, Shana.
She's getting texted by work right now.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh my gosh,
so she's got to take care of business here. And all that, and that's great that you bring up the history. And we're going to go into, like I said, Inside the Upside Down, some of the different actual witch trials and things like that. But there's a lot of different things that people who practice witchcraft use that are, well, I don't want to say, unconventional or not mainstream, but just, different than your, pious, organized religion. You've got
like an athame.
Yeah, I mean,
like an athame.
Right. But I mean, it's tarot cards, different candles, different spices, incenses. We got a whole box over here that we can do a show and tell with. That I'd like to, and different stones and things like that. So
I still have a big black. Whoops.
You're fine. You're good.
Okay, I have a big black box that looks like something you'd prop your foot up on, but it's actually just full to the brim of books and herbs and just all kinds of stuff. So,
and it's whatever works for you. It's a personal thing. You have certain herbs and everything that's going to work for you. I might have different ones that work for me. We might use them for the same Sabbath.
Yeah.
Because it's personal. It's not organized and restricted religion.
Thank you.
It's spirituality.
Right.
Yeah, it's spirituality, and I love it, I have my stuff, that I have as well. Like I said, I put my stuff out the night of the full moon and have kept it out there since 5 minutes before we started the show. So it's went through a couple of moonlights and a couple of sunlights just because I've been doing so many readings, But here is how individual witchcraft is, okay? Whether you're a pagan or not. These are my favorite tarot cards. This little bitty teeny tiny deck. It cost me $5. I've used them for years.
Let's all flash our cards.
Everybody flash the cards.
You gotta
see,
lower
they
your
got
a
the
little bit.
pretty decks. Put yours down a little bit so I can see it.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I got the Ghost Tarot, which of course is very me.
Yeah, and see, mine are just this simple Rider-Waite cheap deck. Cheap little $5 travel deck. I know Shana has certain things that she keeps in her home that bring peace to it, clear out negative energy, things like that. Rainbow obsidian.
Oh, nice.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it gorgeous? It just makes me so happy. This sits on my son's windowsill so that my son has a comfortable night's sleep, along with raw quartz.
Yeah.
It's still very rough, and they
Nice.
sit side by side, and they are on his windowsill unless they're being cleansed.
So how does that work? We do have a couple questions down in the chat that we'll get to
Yes.
here in just a moment. But how does and I've asked Shana this before too, so you can jump in at any time. The whole thing with using the moonlight to charge, because basically the light coming off the moon is a reflection of the sun. So I guess I've always kind of looked at that like, wouldn't charging off the sun be more powerful than the moon because the moon is a lesser light?
Not necessarily. It's more of the energy in the air. It's the atmosphere at the time. It's the feeling. This is going to sound really hippie chick, but it's the feeling that is also that it's associated with the moonlight. It's the energy of it, not just the light that's reflecting. Now, having said that, though, there is one that if you have this particular stone or even a small chip of the stone in the oil, it has to be charged by the sun, and that's moldavite. And we've talked about this on the show before, moldavite, and I have a ring that has it. Moldavite is actually crystallized atmosphere from when a meteorite hit the Moldau Valley, something like 20,000 years ago. And the air, when it hit, just crystallized. And it's a very light, almost like a seafoam green, but it's real light and translucent. And it's kind of hard to come by. in any decent size. That does have to be charged by the sun.
Interesting.
In order for it to work, in order for its properties to be potent.
Yeah, Bria's saying down in chat that she's finding that some stones just don't like the sun, like amethyst.
Well, and the thing is, you have to be careful with certain stones because you can actually change their metaphysical properties based on heat retention.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, so you have to be very careful with that. You want to take care of your stones. You don't want to leave them in a hot car or a freezing car over and over and over again and affect the properties. And a lot of stones like amethyst or quartz or anything like that, if you're worried about the sun or you're worried about the moon, bury those motherfuckers. Put them in the ground.
Nice. Yeah. The extreme heat is very transformative. So, yeah, that absolutely makes sense.
Yes. Yes, very so.
Deb is me 08 asks, can anyone become a witch or do you need to have ancestors who are witches?
Absolutely anybody can. Shana, what do you think?
Yeah, it's however you feel, If you feel like that path makes you feel more comfortable about yourself, then choose that path. Organized religion is not for everybody. So
exactly.
Yeah. And you don't have to do, things a certain way just because, somebody else practices a certain way. Like Vanessa and I were talking before the show started, you don't have to have, this certain all these books and stuff like that is kind of like an option, a guide of sorts, but you can use, whatever you want. If you don't have white sage, grab some cooking sage. Mm-hmm. It's all about intent.
People that. Exactly. It's like I was telling Shana before we started the show, you want to believe because movies tell you that you have to look a certain way or wear a certain robe and the moon has to be at the perfect spot in the sky and your circle has to be amazing and it can only be this salt and it can only be this oil. And I can't tell you how many spells I've cast sitting on my couch in my underwear watching Criminal Minds eating nachos.
Nice.
True story.
Speaking of, Tom McNicholas asked, what was the last spell you did?
I
don't think you
mine.
can divulge that, can you?
I can't say mine.
I can.
I can't say mine because it kind of came true.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't say that on air because I already know what it was.
Yeah.
This was about 3.5 years ago. It wasn't my last one, but it's an impressive one. Okay. And I'll be real quick about it. I was reading for NP Paranormal and they were going to the Demon Church. And I think it was their second time that they were going to be there and I was going to remote view for them. And they were running late, and I just kept feeling the anger off of one of their team members that's no longer on the team. And he messaged me, and I said, what is going on? I said, I can feel this coming off of you. Now, keep in mind, y'all, it's 1,000 miles away, okay? More than 1,000 miles away. And he said, 6 people showed up here, and they will not leave. And I said, tell me how many women, tell me how many men. And he said, why? And I said, because I'm going to do what I can without hurting anybody. Tell me. And he said, 3 women, 3 men. And I said, okay. And I hung up. Did my little thing. Messaged him back. And I said, I did what I could without being mean. So everything should be okay now. Get on up there and start filming. Within a minute, one of the other team members called me. And they said, Vanessa, what did you do? And I said, what I could without being mean. A minute later, another team member messaged me, Vanessa, seriously, what did you do? And I said, I did what I could without being mean. I said, what is going on? And they said, no sooner did the other team member start to walk up, if I'm remembering this correctly, all 6 of the people that were there, all 3 women and all 3 men, all of a sudden their heads just snapped up at once and said, we have to leave now.
Oh, wow.
And started walking in a straight line to leave the place. They had been there for almost 2 hours.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, within a minute, everyone just looked up and said, you know what, we have to go right now.
Oh, that's
and
really
that was all I did, was tell them to leave.
Yeah.
And it took less than 60 seconds.
Intent.
And then I went back to eating nachos.
Yep. You went back to eating nachos.
I like some nachos.
So it's all about the nachos. All right.
It is all about the nachos. Don't let no one tell you different.
Is that going to be a shirt?
It's all about the nachos.
It's all about the nachos.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
to go with the, I'm just here for the coffee, right?
I'm just here for the nachos.
I'm just here for the nachos.
That's perfect. But it's like Shana was saying, it's intent. You don't have to be mean. And if you do decide that you want to try groups that are around you that you might be able to learn from, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that if you go to any and all they ever talk about is revenge, doing things that are negative, or using any skills that they have or might obtain for negative purposes, turn around, walk away, go buy yourself a book.
There you go.
Okay. Just please. There's no need for that. Karma is
Agreed.
real.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Karma is real.
Tim Schoen saying, I'm just here for the witchy shit and Team HRM Fellowship shirts. Expedition Spirit Paranormal, Sammy G says, have you ever done spells quickly using birthday candles? Yeah.
I lit crayons on fire.
You lit crayons on fire?
Now, here's something funny though.
No,
You
funny.
got to hear. Okay, I was in England, and I was staying with Abby and Laura, and we were going to investigate with Really TV the next night, and I was like, I'm terrified. Just please don't let me fuck it up. Please don't let me fuck it up. And so I went and I got 2 of the little 30-minute candles. Shauna, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The little bitty ones, right? I had a fire-safe jar that was used to having plenty of candles in it. It was Abby's. And I put 2 of the little candles in it, a couple of drops of a particular oil, and my own little way of doing things. I always wrap my candles in my hair. So I pull out my own hair because I don't do blood magic. I mean, I can, but I just don't. But I pull out my own hair and I use my hair to bind the candles after I've done what I do to them. And I'll explain all that in the next book. Those 2 30-minute candles burned for 8 hours.
Wow.
They burned so hot, it blew the bottom off of Abby's candle safe container.
Well, dang.
And burned the table. Burned a spot this big in her table.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a couple other questions from the chat. A couple other questions from the chat. Maybe we'll get into a little show and tell after that. From Tom McNicholas, are there healing spells that you need to digest? Not sure.
I don't understand.
Or are they supposed to be eating spells you need to digest? I don't know.
Like the
I thought it was supposed to be healing.
like the ingredients that you're using for the spell, like something that you would actually eat or drink.
That just really varies. You have to be careful with things like that because it's Newton's law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So it really depends on what your spell work is, what your intent is behind it, and if it isn't 100% pure, do you really want to be ingesting something?
Right.
A $5 super chat from Andrew Cox says nachos and Maruchan noodles. And then Phoenix Feather asks, is it true that if you curse someone, you get half the spell?
I have an opinion on that, but Sean, you want to go first?
I kind of feel like if you're doing something negative to somebody, if that's your intent, if you're doing something negative for no reason, just, hey, I don't like that person, or if it's going to harm an innocent, somebody that's not done anything to deserve it, I feel like you deserve to eat the whole thing times 3.
True story. True story. I don't believe you get half the spell back, but I believe that karma doesn't have a watch on and doesn't need your address.
Right.
No.
And it just for anyone out there who's looking at something like this as a way to cause damage or something, never curse anybody. Never, 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 unless you're willing to suffer the repercussions for it. If somebody must be exposed or you have to have your vigilante justice, the absolute best thing you can do is bless every single person around them with the clarity of sight.
There you go.
You don't have to curse them. Bless everybody else.
Right. From Spooky, do you believe in curses? Which I believe you do. And if so, has anybody ever put a curse on you?
They've tried.
I have no idea. No idea.
Yeah. It has been tried. Years ago, years and years and years ago. It was tried. I still married. But I have a particular spell that I can use against that, and they'll pull back.
Okay.
So, and it's not to harm anyone. It's just a really well phrased threat that shit will get real in a hurry.
Okay. Sounds fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to do a little show and tell here?
Sure.
All right. So I don't know if you want to do that before you get out the box.
Yeah, this I don't really ever intend on using. It's a goldenrod. I only got it. I only got it because of the name, and it was the only one left. And I didn't even know it was sitting there. I hadn't really looked in that particular part of the store too much, so I really only got it because of the boat. So I will never use this. I'll never open it up.
No.
Yeah. It's used in money and love spells, and it increases clarity and brings good fortune and all that. So, not that it wouldn't be helpful.
For the money. Please, people, don't ever do love spells. Please. Okay? Please.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever seen Love Potion number 9?
I've seen the after effects of bad love spells. It's just not worth it.
No, this is not even for spell work at all. It's incense cones. It's India Temple. It's what it's raining Zen smells like, and I love the smell. And so I have this black cord that I hang around my rearview mirror, and it's got like one of those little wire, holders, and then I shove an incense cone in there, and my car smells like it's raining Zen.
But it produces like an energy, awesome. Right? Like a positive vibe.
Because I always feel positive when I'm inside It's Raining Zen, so it's reminiscent of that. For me, it kind of, as soon as I smell it, I'm like, oh, Zen, So.
Yeah.
And nobody needs Zen more than me when I'm behind the wheel of the car. So.
From Murtaza Arif, and then we'll open this up. The question is, why do love spells produce bad effects?
Because they go against free will.
Yep. That is exactly right.
Yeah, you can't truly have love without free will, because love is a choice.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, if you have to make somebody want to be with you, stay with you, love you, or be affectionate towards you, if you have to do something to make that happen, then you could very well not only be keeping yourself from who you should be with, but you could be keeping them from who they're supposed to be with. And it's that butterfly effect. It's that little ripple effect where it affects everything. And I mean, the negative energy that can come off of that is not something you would ever choose to have.
Right.
Yep.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So a couple years ago,
it was a gift, and it was an awesome one.
Made this for Shana with the help of my father, because he has his own wood shop. For Christmas one year. Did I put that on your cord? Okay. And it is a box of witchy shit. So yeah. So the bottom has, it's just all kinds of stuff, and the top has like candles and incense and all that stuff. So there's all kinds of different things in here.
Yes.
yeah, so you got the different spices that are down here. Like, what is there?
There's
Lavender,
mugwort.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how well you guys can see that. That's in there.
It's got, oh my
and
God.
then you
it's
toss
got
some
a little
other
bit of
additional
everything.
things in here, but that's fine.
Yeah, I've got some different oils and stuff in here. Some of this stuff I got from Missy Nichols, actually, who performed our hand fasting ceremony. And so some of the stuff in there is from her too.
Yeah. So this is actually made by Vanessa here.
Yes.
Yeah. You remember you told me to put that in there? Yep.
Yeah.
You told me to put that in there for her, so I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, up here.
I mean, that way you've always got a piece of the goldenrod.
Right.
You know?
But up here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a. Let me bring it down a little bit. So up at the top, there's a incense burner. You got incense in here, and so incense is really to create a certain atmosphere, like a certain energy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got some white sage.
Yep. Got
Also.
some sage in there.
I've got this really super cool. What is it? Where is it?
It's right there. It's a timer.
A timer.
Oh, you got other things in there too.
Oh, I've got.
Oh, you snuck that guy in there.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
You got cinnamon sticks in here? Yep. There's all kinds of little things. So it's like your own little witchy kit.
And that's just the little box.
That's just a little box, yeah.
I have an even bigger one with all kinds of stuff in it.
It's an empty bottle for you to do
An
stuff
empty
with.
bottle.
Well, you got to
That's
have
nice.
something to hold wishes in.
That's right.
Right.
You know, you really do.
What I should do is
That
get a
is
little
beautiful, Mike.
get a little sign that says "Eat me" or "Drink me" or something like that.
That's perfect.
As a nod to Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
that's just some of my stuff.
That's some of her stuff, but kind of give you an idea of what might be in a little kit.
Well, and I can tell you this, having done investigations with Gwen, she carries around a portable altar, and
wow.
you're never going to guess what it's in. It's a tackle box.
Oh, wow.
And it's so cool because there's literally a spot for everything, and everything has a spot. And it's perfectly organized, and it's all the different, sizes of the containers that go in it that she can keep certain things. That thing has come in handy more than once, I must say. More than once. Since we're doing show and tell, I have to show one of my most prized possessions.
Yeah, go for it.
This was sent to me by my dear friend, Dawn. Right here.
Ah.
Oh, leather-bound book?
A leather-bound book that opens right here. If I can get it. I can't do it looking this way. But it opens like this, and no, I'm not showing everybody what's in it because this is my book. It's got my private stuff in it. I will put some spells in the new book, but this is private. But that is one of my most prized possessions. And then when I was in Virginia over my birthday 2 years ago, they had a surprise birthday party for me. I know, psychic. I know, I was surprised. Yeah. But I try not to hop in my friends' heads. And they gave me the best gift. They gave me a box of rocks. All different kinds of stones in it.
Cool.
With just this beautiful pointed amethyst geode
Nice.
that was in it. That's just lovely. And yes, this could kill somebody because it's so pointy. I sleep with this bitch.
Nice.
I do. And then we have my jade griffin.
Nice.
This is what helps Mama write. Yep, solid jade, my griffin. And the most fabulous pendulum known to man.
Oh, very cool. There you go. Pendulum.
With the skull.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's my happy stuff.
That's your
all
happy
I can
stuff.
pull out.
So
Yes.
There's some
And
comments.
my oils, but I'm
Yeah.
not pulling all them out.
Yeah, so there's some comments down here like BD Flint saying I would buy one. Who said that? Bree Jones would make a good kit for the Haunted Media Store. So that took my father and I like over a month to make, and it wasn't cheap.
No, it's beautifully done.
Thank you.
It is beautifully done. So, and Sean,
and I thank you guys very much for the compliments on that. But
did he know what he was making?
I told him that we're making a box, like a little curio box is what I called it. I didn't tell him was to put witchy shit in. Yeah, it's a curio box. So and I showed him the little bottles, put spices in, and we made the little bundles of the cinnamon sticks and all that. He just wasn't around for like the incense burner and.
Well, I mean, we like good smellies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there just might come a time when you have to have multiple types of good smellies.
Now, the bigger square in there was supposed to have a mortar and pestle, except the where I bought it from actually had they'd mismarked the size of it, and so it was taller than what the box was supposed to be. So the pestle's in there, the mortar's in there, and the pestle's in the. I guess it's on your shelf, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I finally got me.
Yeah.
And I got it in New Orleans. I had wanted one for years, and I don't buy a whole lot of stuff for myself. And when I found this in New Orleans, right there at the French Market, I'm like, you know what? It's a small one. I can travel with it if I have to. I'm doing it, and it's solid marble. And yeah, ooh, I'm gonna grab it. Hold on.
Oh, nice.
Isn't it precious?
That's cute.
Yeah, but it's solid. I mean, it's nothing is gonna hurt this sucker, and I can put my herbs in there and just grind them as I need to. Never have to worry about anything being hurt. And speaking of, Shana, you made a really, really, really good point earlier. And I think we need to touch back on that, even for those who aren't into the witchy shit like we are, but, they have, occurrences in their home, and, and we tell people, okay, well, you need to cleanse, you need to sage. Y'all, if you can't get to a metaphysical store, if you don't have anyone who can give you a bundle of sage, by all means, go to your local Piggly Wiggly or Dillon's or Walmart or Whole Foods or wherever it is that you do your grocery shopping. And you can go to Dollar Tree if they got it, okay? And get yourself a container of sage, the shakeable kind.
There you go. That's all you need.
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They even have it at Walmart. Just like the fresh stuff now, in produce section, it's got little containers. And if you don't have a lot of money for groceries and, you're in a situation where you're on assistance of some type, it'll pay for that. If you can eat it, it'll pay for it.
Exactly. As long as you don't have to cook it.
Right.
Right there. Like, because you can use those at the convenience store too. But you can get one of those little tins or an ashtray and, put a bunch of that sage in it and light that bitch on fire and just walk through your house wafting the smoke and just clear your energy, clear your area. If you're having a rough day, clear your area. You can have bells up or have a bell that you can shake. Yep. Clear your area. That sound does it. Anything that you can do that, it's going to sound weird how I'm going to describe it, but Shauna, you'll know what I mean. It's like your space expands with what you're putting in it and then snaps back to where it needs to be and all that negativity is gone.
Yeah, it's like it soaks it. It's like it expands to take it all in and then it just shoots it out.
Gone.
It's gone. And then you're back to where you want to be, where you need to be.
Exactly.
Bree Jones says, absolutely on the dollar store. Salted my whole place down with a $2 container of Windsor table salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it
There you
doesn't
go.
matter. Use whatever you want. You know, as long as your heart's in it and your intent is behind it. If you believe it's going to work, it'll work.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you they didn't have these stores 300 years ago.
No.
Well, no. No, they didn't.
They didn't have colored candles 300 years ago.
No.
No.
You know, they didn't have all the fancy shit that we're being told we need to have. So,
Yeah, I mean, people grew their own stuff. They used their own little containers or what have you. Donna's down there saying, save spice jars and wash the hell out of them, relabel them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can go to garage sales and people will sell baby food jars. They'll have baby food jars for sale, and those are perfect. You know, because you can get cute little stickers and label them, and you can have your own little apothecary area in your home that costs you next to nothing.
Even these. Let me get that out here real quick. These little jars here, right? That was at a craft store. I think these were like $2 each for these little jars.
You know, they will have those at Dollar Tree.
There you go. Yeah.
Smaller ones. Yeah, smaller ones, 2 for $1, or ones that size for $1.
Yep.
Or is it like at the Dollar General, I think. Hobby Lobby will even run specials on certain things like that. I am not above walking in with that 40% off coupon, buying one thing, bringing it out to my car, going back in with that 40% off of one item coupon, buying another thing, going back out to my car. I have made 10 trips into the Hobby Lobby in less than 30 minutes before with the same damn coupon. Okay? So it's just finding what works best for you, and you don't have to be validated by anybody. You don't need me telling you it's the right way to do it. You don't need Shana or Mike telling you it's the right way to do it.
Right.
If your heart's pure and your intentions are pure, you're good.
Yeah. Karen Whitaker, they didn't have marketing 300 years ago. That's right.
Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying.
So
I'm trying to see some of the questions.
Yeah, a couple
here.
of questions from the chat from Betty Lange. Can a relationship work between a Christian and a Wiccan or witch?
Well, I think it can.
Yeah, technically, I still claim to be Christian. So I'm just not your typical Christian because I have an issue with organized religion. But I still have my beliefs, which differ from Shauna's. And
Who would rather take a bullet than be a part of organized religion and just...
so we agree on that point.
And
so,
I got to be honest, too. What did we watch right before here?
Oh, yeah, we were watching about the Salem witch trials because, just kind of prepping for tonight.
I mean, and just watching it, I was fucking angry.
Yeah,
watching
the
that
Puritans
thing, and there were times when I'd be like, man, I'd take the consequences and curse that bastard right there, like, I'm gonna die anyway, I'm gonna take him down with me. So
it depends on the Christian. I know a lot of pagans. I know a lot of witches. I don't know one who is against another religion. I don't know one who looks down on somebody for their religion. And I know hundreds, and I don't know one that does that. I know many people of other faiths that do that. Mm-hmm. To this day, it is 2018. And I can mention to somebody what I do and what I am, and they will back away.
Yep. Yeah, it's ridiculous because all that self-righteous, judgmental attitude is exactly opposite of what Jesus preached. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it does hurt your feelings.
Oh, sure. Of course it does. Sure it does.
It happened to me the other day.
Shana doesn't give a shit.
I don't give one fuck at all. If you don't like what I do or like what I stand for, then you know what? Right there. I don't give one fuck.
Yeah. Well, for me, I don't need anyone's approval or nothing like that. But what bothered me was for somebody to be so totally okay with me as a person, but the second they find out that, all of a sudden I become, even for a moment, just in their eyes, this thing to be feared.
I guess more of what it is disappointing.
Yes.
Is what it is. It's
figure,
disappointing.
I figure that if someone who's known me and that knows how I am, all of a sudden, doesn't want to be around me anymore because of the path I've chosen, then they're not supposed to be in my life anymore. And they can either get over it or they can not get over it. My life still goes on. It's still my life, and I'm still going to do whatever the hell I want. So with or without them, as if I'd never met them before. So my life goes on, and I don't give a shit. Pretty much.
Well, and I mean, we all have dark sides and light sides. Every last one of us, whether you're Wiccan, whether you're a witch, because there is a difference to a certain degree. There's whether you're pagan, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Lutheran, Baptist, Pentecostal, doesn't matter. We all, as humans, have a positive side and a negative side. I acknowledge my dark side. I know it's there. I know what it can do. And I struggle daily to keep it reined in. So that's what I find so bothersome, is for somebody to expect me to not have that courtesy. You know what I mean? To expect me to just be, oh, okay, well, this is what I've heard from Hollywood, or this is what I've heard from, our church preacher all my life. So, everything good about you, all of a sudden now you're just a piece of shit. And it does. I'm getting to where you are, Shana, but it still does bother me.
Like Greg Rankin down there saying, I get backed away for just going ghost exploring, and that's true. There's a lot of people out there that will sit there and say that you're just you're trying to contact the devil and crap like that when it comes to ghost hunting, which is just ridiculous. But there's people out there who truly believe that. A lot of it, I think, is their upbringing or the particular church that they're involved with, and they've just been brainwashed into thinking that. And it really goes into fear, which is something we're going to touch on next hour. And inside the Upside Down is how fear is utilized to a massive extent to control people and do some really crazy shit.
That is true.
Oh yeah. I mean, people, before they start judging people like Shana and I, they actually need to research the history of their own religion.
Yeah, who was it that was down there? Just I think it was B3 Airspace that was just saying that down in the chat. Yeah, a lot of people just don't even understand their own religion.
And it's fear. It's all fear. They're afraid to believe in anything else other than what they were brought up to believe, because to not believe that way means, oh shit, I'm fucked.
Well, there's a sense of security that's lost to them.
Yeah, but history is an opinion. It's fact. Mm-hmm. It's verifiable fact. And you can go back through Catholicism and know that certain popes actually paid for little boys to dunk them in gold dust and have their way with them before they would kill them. That's fact. That is not an opinion.
Of what we know, because there is a lot of history that just is lost to time because it's been destroyed by other civilizations, or people have tried to hide it and they've been successful so far.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things we still don't know about what happened.
That doesn't mean every Catholic would ever do that. Of course it doesn't. It's called using common sense, to know that there is bad in every realm. There can be bad people all over the place. But just because you are one thing doesn't mean that you're a bad person. And please, for the love of God, or whatever deity you pray to, would you just quit believing Hollywood? Just please.
That is, Hollywood, all of that stuff, it's all for entertainment purposes only. That's it.
Yep.
They're doing it. It's for money. It's for entertainment. It is not reality.
Exactly.
It's not.
So Karen Whitaker says down in chat, I was recently turned down for a job because of my paranormal investigation. So I've actually done the opposite during a phone interview several years ago, where they took a look at my Twitter and they're like, I'm seeing all this stuff on there about books and writing and ghosts and all that. That better just be a hobby and not interfere with work. I'm like, all right, we don't need to talk anymore. We're done.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I didn't get a job because of what I do.
Yep. It happens. There's people that are very close-minded.
Because of what I do. And people are like, well, that's illegal. You could sue them. Nope. Not if they found out before I was even able to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when I found out, I contacted them because I was supposed to go in and talk to them. And they said, no. So, yeah, in this day and
age, it still happens. Yep, absolutely.
Yep, sure does. And that's pathetic. You know, that's when you want to say, oh, that's how you going to play? I'm going to come eat your babies.
Right.
Back to the eating the babies. Yep.
That's when you want to say shit like that. Even if you wouldn't do it, you're like, ooh, you got some ketchup?
It's like, except here, I'm going to eat your spawn.
Sharon Lane asks, Vanessa, Shana, do you work with intention for healings for yourself or others?
Others.
Yeah, I don't really do anything for myself for personal gain. So
whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, if I was 100% certain that doing something for personal gain, to make my body feel better, I'd be a lot better. I'd feel a lot better. But
oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets really tiresome when people say, "Oh, you're a witch. Why haven't you won the lottery, you stupid motherfucker?" Because it doesn't work that way.
No.
Okay? Because what if I use something to help me get an advantage over somebody else, and the person who was supposed to win it had a kid who had cancer and no insurance, and then I just cost a life? I mean, it sounds stupid, but you do have to think that way. You have to think that way. I've taught that to my son. You have to think about your actions and how they affect others, and are you willing to accept the repercussions of whatever that could be? So when it comes down to me being able to make my situation better through my abilities, no, I won't do it. I will help the shit out of the rest of you people, but I won't do it for myself. If y'all want to, go right ahead. Just don't ever tell me you did it.
Right.
Yep. From Dawn, spooky question: do you use your Wiccan? You guys aren't necessarily Wiccan, but use your powers to communicate with the dead?
I think that just kind of happens.
Yeah, it just
right.
You're either open to it or you're not. I don't.
Yeah, because I was talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do any
Sean?
I don't do any spells. I don't do any. I don't really look at it that way. I'm aware, that I can communicate with them. I'm aware that I'm sensitive to it, and it just is. It just is.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah, I was talking to dead people before I knew about this aspect of me. So maybe that led me down this path, if anything.
Maybe.
Right.
Because it was really frowned upon by the religious people that I knew that I could do this.
Oh, of course.
So if anything, I would say it steered me in this direction.
Yeah, I mean, if you're frustrated because you can't, I think that subconsciously there's a block somewhere, because we all have a sixth sense, all of us. It's there. Some people, it's buried a little deeper than others. I mean, it's just like sometimes you just have to take a step outside of the box for a minute. Here's reality right here. Take a step outside of it. Or here's reality. Take a step inside. Because that's where it's all at. And then just close your eyes and just tune out the outside world. It can work magic sometimes. But you have to really want that.
Yeah. But on that same token, sometimes people can want it too much. And when it comes down to it, this happens when your guides, your spirit, whoever it is that is watching over you, It happens in stages that they think you're going to be okay with, or that they know you can handle. So if you start out just being clairsentient, that's fine. If you start out just being clairaudient, that's fine. If you start out just being claircognizant, that's fine. If you see shadows, if you see little shimmery things, little sparklies, I mean, that's fine too. I always said if I went the rest of my life never seeing a dead person with my own eyes, I would be perfectly fine.
Sure.
That's when they threw down the gauntlet and said, yeah, that's not going to happen. That happens when you can handle it. So don't rush it.
One more question, then we got to get wrapping it up. Deb is me 08. Do your children know you're witches?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My oldest more than my youngest doesn't really bring it up as much. The older one he's like, yeah, it is what it is. And, and my kids grew up, thinking that I was something anyway, even though on the sly, I really wasn't into this all that much. But I lived in a house that had a duct system that I could hear things happening. So when they were plotting, hopefully they're not watching, but if they were plotting something, and I'd hear it and they'd think that they were being sly and all quiet about it. And then next time it'd be like, by the way, and in verbatim, they're like, oh my God, how did she hear that? We were whispering. We were so quiet, and I always got them, and they were sure, and their friends would be like, oh my God, I think your mom is like psychic or a witch or something, because we were whispering, man, there's no way she could have heard that.
That is awesome.
Yeah. I always got them with reflective surfaces. They literally, for a while when they were really young, they literally thought I had eyes in the back of my head. And I was just using reflective surfaces. And I was like, don't you go touching that. And I'm not even looking at them, totally looking in the opposite direction. They're like, how do you see me? Yep. Eyes in the back of my head.
Well, you haven't lived until your teenage son has called you at work and said, hey, Mom, they're here to fix the refrigerator. What do I do about the people you've got frozen in the freezer? You haven't lived
That's awesome.
until that's happened. Because that's some of my, and I don't mean actual people, y'all. There's no bodies in there. But that's, certain spell work that's been done. And I'm not going to go into detail on it. But the guy that was fixing the refrigerator was standing right there. So the looks that I got when I went in to pay my rent the next time, I mean, because they know now. Everybody knows here. So, yeah, you haven't lived until that's happened. That was awesome. Made my
That's
day.
awesome.
It's like, tell them it's a Halloween prop.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a Halloween prop.
Well, one of them was in a plastic bag and a tube sock. So it looked really bad.
That looks
It
really
looked
bad.
really bad. But it's not people. There's no body parts, okay? So as long as we're all clear on that. But, yeah, I take care of business. We'll just put it that way.
All right. Well, we got a little bit of housekeeping to take care of that we should have at the beginning of the show. We had all that weird technical stuff going on that we'll have to figure out for next time. But we just hit 9,000 subscribers this past week.
Woo.
So I think the last I looked, we were at like 9,150 or something like that. So we kind of like zoomed right past it. So that means giveaway. So you guys know the deal. The way we've done it most times is just hit us up on any other social media other than YouTube. So like Twitter, Facebook, you could message us directly through the website with through the contact page. Any of those other means, you can go ahead and say, hey, I want to be entered. Haunted Road Media Facebook page, whatever, and just say I want to be entered into the giveaway, and we'll draw all the names out of the hat next week. And there is BD Flint with a $20 super chat. She says, great scope. Thank you very much, BD Flint. Yeah, we do simulcast on Periscope, so there are a few people who watch out there. We appreciate that, but definitely thank you very much, BD. Absolutely appreciate it. The other thing, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. How can I forget this? The new Encounters with the Paranormal book is out. Came out last night.
Yay!
Encounters with Paranormal Volume 4, the Fairy Plantation Edition. Many of you down in the chat room were contributors to that, so do appreciate that, and you guys will be receiving your contributor copy soon. I put in all the information, and they send it in their good old time. So,
and it's a big one.
And it's a big one. It's 200 pages. So it's the biggest Encounters with Paranormal we've had so far to date, which is great. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think of it. A lot of great contributions in there, stories from people from all over, a lot of different experiences, and it all comes down to you're not alone. Other people have had these other experiences too. So one of them in there should be able to reach out to you if you're still sitting back there like, I don't know, I've had something happen and I'm hesitant to tell anybody about it. Don't be. We're all in the same boat here. So.
Yeah.
So.
And
tomorrow's
Halloween. And we have a pretty cool video coming out.
We do.
Yes.
Which I'm gonna be up late tonight again. Yeah. So we went back to 217 Terror Haunted House, which we did last year for the Halloween special. Very different experience this time because they are not inside this time. They're outside, so it was a different experience. And there's some cool stuff that we captured. So so look forward to that. So I guess that will do it. We'll get to the shout outs here, and then we'll turn it over to Inside the Upside Down, which we will continue on with our Halloween special witch theme. And we're going to get into a lot of that historic stuff that Vanessa was talking about earlier, get into some specific cases and whatnot. So, all right. First of all, Donna Gorton, thank you for Cheshire Catty in the chat. Absolutely appreciate that. There is Lynn's White. Good to see you, Lynn. She's happy she doesn't have to work tonight. She's down there in the chat today. That's awesome. Sharon Lane, thank you very much for your questions. Lenora Moreno, thank you for joining us again. Betty Lange, thank you as well. Phoenix Feather, 1031. Absolutely appreciate you being there again today. Spooky, there's Dawn. Good to see you. Shay Carroll. So I'll be on Shay's show on Friday night, so be sure to check that out. Shay, go ahead. Feel free to post that information down in there so people can check that out on Friday night. In addition to Friday Night Ghost Frights, of course. Tammy Heitzman says she's excited. Thank you very much, Tammy. She was also contributing. A lot of you guys are. Mickey Dole, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate that. There's Tim Schoen doing hashtag Mad Hatter for life. Awesome. Very cool. There's Andrew Cox. You know what? We need to do Super Chat Superstars because Andrew Cox was one. And so Andrew Cox, Tom McNicholas, BD Flint, Super Chat Superstars. Thank you very much, guys. Absolutely do appreciate that. And I buzzed by everybody because I was in the wrong window when I did that. So there's Lenore, Andrew Cox. You went to Pitts. Good to see you down there in chat tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Karen Whitaker, thank you for joining us tonight. Candy Orton was down there in the chat tonight as well. Thank you very much, Candy. Katie Palmer, thanks for joining us tonight. There is Haunted Road Media's Fairy Queen, Diane Hilbert. Good to see you down there tonight. There's Joe Chandler, one of our Deep Down the Rabbit Hole Patreon patrons. So I got to do those. Deep Down the Rabbit Hole Patreon patrons. We've got Tom McNicholas, BD Flint, Beat 3 Airspace, Zippy Davis, Pamela Queen, Andrew Cox, and Joe Chandler. There we go. I did them out of order, so I caught myself a little off guard. Sean Oldsmith, thanks for joining us again tonight. Always appreciate our Australian brethren. Was Robert White down there tonight too? There's Jen. Thanks for joining us again tonight, Jen. And there's DebisMe08. Thank you for joining us. Tracy Christian, thanks for joining us again. A lot of people in the chat tonight. Judy Wilson, thank you very much. Claire G, thanks for joining us tonight. Who else in here? So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and scroll back down. Bree Jones already took off. I saw everybody saying goodbye to her. And all right, so let's scroll back down to the bottom. Where is he? Yeah, Murtaza Arif, thanks for joining us tonight. So, our Egyptian buddy, which is very cool. Jill Nijinsky, thanks for joining us again tonight. And Anybody else? We got any last minute people in here we need to get a shout out to? I think Discord threads was lurking. All right. Very cool. And there's Serenable. All right. From Ireland. Very cool. Luna Nocturnum. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I think that might be it.
If anybody else is lurking, speak up.
Yep. Anybody else? You got
Probably
like
Adam lurks.
Yeah. Well, he usually joins us for Inside the Upside Down too.
Inside the Upside Down.
Yeah. Charms Paranormal. Very cool. All right, and Bonnie Halpern is saying hi. She's not in the chat, but she's letting Donna know. Bonnie will. She's our other Cheshire cat. She's not always down there in chat, but she does watch all the time. So, and positive energy out for her. She's going through a lot of different health issues. So, all right, everybody. We will see you here in a few minutes on Inside the Upside Down. Vanessa, thank you once again. And everybody else, you have a great few minutes because we're going to see you again here shortly. Take care.
Bye. I gotta go walk the doggy.
All right.
Bye.